Think about how many American movies, TV shows, or sitcoms you've watched from the last 40 years. When it's time for the hero to grab a drink, they reach past the familiar red of Coke or the blue of Pepsi. Their hand lands on a different can. A deep, dark red one with a mysterious, swirling logo that just says Dr. Pepper. In the United States, this drink is a titan. It's a multi-billion-dollar behemoth that predates Coca-Cola by a full year. It's a beloved staple in millions of homes and in every sense of the word, a success. And then there's Australia. Here, Dr. Pepper is hardly a titan or a staple. It's more of a ghost. A dusty can that you spot on the bottom shelf of a specialty candy store, sitting right next to jelly beans that taste like popcorn and those brightly colored American breakfast cereals you've only ever seen in movies. It's a high-priced, high-risk import, and a drink that, when an Australian finally tries it, usually results in a face that looks like they just licked a car battery. But this wasn't just a simple matter of unpopularity, as Dr. Pepper's Australian launch was a spectacular flop. The brand failed to gain even basic traction. So what happened? Why did a drink that conquered the biggest soft drink market in the world get so thoroughly rejected by the land down under? To understand why it failed, we have to understand what Dr. Pepper is. And that's a question that its own parent company has been delightfully vague about for over 130 years. It was invented in 1885 by a pharmacist named Charles Alderton in Waco, Texas. Their marketing has always been built on a foundation of pure mystery. It's famous for having 23 flavors, but the company has never said what they were. The recipe is a closely guarded secret locked away in a vault. This, of course, has led to decades of speculation. When you drink it, the flavor is a complex, confusing wave. You get the sweetness, then a hit of something fruity, but also spicy. There's also a marzipan, almond-like quality that hits the back of your throat, and a finish that is uniquely, well, peppery. In America, this unique flavor is its greatest strength. It's the thinking man's soda, the intellectual alternative. If you're tired of the simple, one-note caramel of Coke, you graduate to the 23-flavor enigma of Dr. Pepper. Let's just get this out of the way, because if you ask any Australian who has ever tried Dr. Pepper, they will say it tastes like the pink cherry-flavored children's cough syrup they were forced to swallow when they had a fever in 1995. It tastes like the liquid Panadol that came with that tiny, sticky plastic spoon. It tastes, in short, like being sick. And this is not an exaggeration. It is the single biggest reason for its failure. That specific flavor profile, the one that Americans associate with unique and complex, is the exact same flavor profile that Australian pharmaceutical companies chose for children's medicine. That strong, artificial, cherry almond whatever it is taste is, for an Australian, a flavor associated with illness, fevers, and being stuck in bed. The human brain is wired for this. It's called flavor aversion conditioning. You eat something, you get sick, you never want to eat it again. But in this case, the conditioning was even more powerful. So, when an unsuspecting Australian, now an adult, cracks open a can of Dr. Pepper, that first sip immediately triggers a subconscious, visceral rejection. Their brain is so strongly wired to associate that specific taste with being sick that it bypasses any chance of being a refreshing beverage, instead feeling wrong. In the US, cherry is a candy flavor, while in Australia, it's a medicine flavor. And that one simple cultural difference was the first nail in Dr. Pepper's coffin. Dr. Pepper wasn't alone in facing this flavor hurdle. Root beer, for instance, is a total flop in Australia for the exact same reason. Its core flavor, derived from wintergreen or sassafras, is strongly associated by Australians with the taste of Dettol, Listerine, or other antiseptics, ultimately reminding them of a dentist's office. The brand's spectacular failure in Australia wasn't simply due to a lack of effort, as back in the 90s and early 2000s, it was bottled locally under the Cadbury Schweppes banner, and you could easily find it. It was even supported by ad campaigns. And it still bombed. The failure started with the cough medicine problem. People tried it, hated it, and didn't buy it again. This taste-based rejection was only made worse as Dr. Pepper ran headfirst into the brick wall that is the Australian soft drink market. You have to understand, the Australian market is a brutal duopoly and it's dominated by Coca-Cola. The brand is practically a religion here, woven into the fabric of summer, barbecues, and the beach. Coke's market share is so massive it's almost a monopoly, leaving Pepsi to fight for a very, very distant second place. Everyone else is fighting for the scraps. Dr. Pepper tried to position itself as the third option, but Australia didn't want a third option. If they wanted a cola, they bought Coke. If they were feeling rebellious, they bought Pepsi. And if they wanted something weird, they already had a whole range of beloved Australian-owned weird drinks. If an Aussie wants a spicy, complex drink, they buy a Bundaberg ginger beer, which is so fiery it could double as a drain cleaner. If they want a weird, old-timey sarsaparilla style drink, they buy Kirk's Sars or a classic Bundaberg sarsaparilla. These are flavors they grew up with. These are the correct weird flavors. Dr. Pepper was simply the incorrect weird flavor. It had no local history or nostalgia to lean on, only a taste that reminded people of being sick. With sales numbers proving to be abysmal, supermarkets quietly stopped ordering it and the bottlers soon stopped production entirely. By the mid-2000s, Dr. Pepper was, for all intents and purposes, dead in Australia. But it didn't completely vanish. It entered a strange afterlife as a specialty import. The Dr. Pepper you see today is a completely different beast. It's imported from America or the UK and sold only in the niche locations that carry overseas goods. This brings us to one of the most nuanced but perhaps most fatal problems of all: the type of sugar. Australians, like most of the world outside America, have a cane sugar palate. The soft drinks made and sold locally, including Australian-made Coke, are sweetened with good old-fashioned cane sugar, which gives a clean, crisp sweetness. Now this is where it gets complicated because, as mentioned, Australia imports two main versions of Dr. Pepper. If you look in the British section of a large Coles or Woolworths, you can often find the UK-made version, which does use sugar, but the far more common version, the one that fills the specialty candy stores, discount shops, and USA Foods aisles, is the American version. And that American version is sweetened almost exclusively with high fructose corn syrup. To a lot of people, HFCS tastes wrong. It's a different kind of sweet, often described as having a cloying, syrupy or sticky sweetness with a weird chemical aftertaste. So, not only is the core flavor of Dr. Pepper perceived as cough medicine, but the most widely available imported version also has a sweetness that tastes foreign and chemical. Ultimately, Dr. Pepper remains one of the great American success stories. In Australia, however, its failure serves as a powerful lesson. It shows how a simple flavor can be a deep cultural mismatch, how a market can be impossible to crack, and how a drink, no matter how beloved in one country, can be a complete and utter enigma in another. So, Dr. Pepper will remain a fixture of American movies, a mysterious red can that, for Australians, will always be a symbol of a flavor they just don't get. And maybe, just maybe, that's for the best. But what do you think? Does Dr. Pepper really taste like medicine to you? Or are you part of this small, loyal fan base that genuinely loves those 23 flavors? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and tap that notification bell so you don't miss our next video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, stay curious.